If you're a self-coach athlete, comment below and let me know how long you've been self-coached for. For me personally, my self-coaching journey began in September 2018. So at the point of making this video, it's been about 5.5 years almost. So 5 years and 4 months. And in my journey of self-coaching, I've come to realize that there are a few tools I think make your life as a self-coach athlete a little bit easier, help you, because obviously there's benefits that you have from having a coach or having other people in your group that you don't necessarily have by yourself. And so in today's video, I'm going to share with you guys 5 of the things that I think every self-coach sprinter needs. So let's get into it. Hi guys, and welcome back to Fit with T. I hope you guys are good. When I say that, I really do mean it. So how are you today? Let me know in the comment section below. So the first tool that I think every self-coach sprinter needs is cones. So that sounds really obvious, but a lot of people, let me know if you're one of them, do not have cones. So if you don't have cones, I encourage you to get some, because whether it is marking out the distances that you're running, whether it is doing cone runs because you may not have hurdles, cones are much more convenient to carry around. So cones like this, just the dome-shaped ones, I think these are enough. Of course, you can get smaller ones, you can get bigger ones. There's so many different types of cones, right? But at the minimum, I think just having the basic cones like this is useful for so many different reasons. Whether it's doing plyometrics, like I said, whether you're sprinting, whether you're running through cones, they're easy to carry around and they're very, very versatile. Now, for all the tools that I'm mentioning in this video today, guys, I'm going to leave links in the comment section below. So just have a look at the links below if you're interested in any of these. Tool number 2, I'm going to say an exogeny, okay? And so this is going to be beneficial when it comes to doing acceleration work, resisted sprints, okay? So I've got a whole video about resisted sprints, so check out that video if you haven't seen it, about why resisted sprints are really useful, beneficial, and different ways that you can do resisted running, right? But I think as a self-coached athlete, if you can invest in an exogeny, I think it's really helpful because it's so portable, because you can travel with it, because it folds up and it goes into a bag. I think it's one of the easiest ways to get that resisted work in. If you don't have access to a sled, if you don't have access to a prowler, if you don't have access to hills or stuff like this, then an exogeny, you can change the resistance. It has a consistent resistance as you run, and so I think an exogeny is something really worth investing in. So it can be a little bit pricey, so if you haven't got the money right now, I really encourage you to save up for it and think about trying to invest in one of those. But I think it's going to be a really useful way to work on your acceleration, on your mechanics for acceleration, get stronger, more powerful in acceleration phase in particular. So an exogeny is something I think is important, and if you guys want me to make a video about how to set up an exogeny or a bit more detail about the exogeny in particular, let me know in the comment section below. Okay, so the third tool that I think every self-coach sprinter needs is some sort of timing system, okay? So timing gate or timing system, and I'm going to suggest 2 for you guys in this video, okay? So one is on the more pricey end, the other one is a cheaper but actually very accurate alternative, okay? So I'm going to show you both the free lap system or the photo finish app, okay? So I have access to both of these, okay? So there's pros and cons for both of these, and at different points and times I use them for different reasons, and in another video I will go into pros and cons for each of them individually, little things that you find out for yourself when you're using it, right? But with the free lap system, you can actually have multiple people running at the same time. It's a little bit easier to catch multiple people. Also, if there's a lot of people on the track, then a free lap system is probably a better option because you have a chip and it picks up the chip as opposed to movement, whereas the photo finish app is a fantastic alternative because it, first of all, is so much cheaper, but it's still very accurate. It goes by your chest movement, it goes by movement. If there's a lot of people on the track, for example, if it's a very windy day or the weather's not great, then it's quite difficult to use it at that time. However, it is accurate. You only need 2 phones minimum, okay? If you only have one phone but you train with somebody else, say, then you can link up with that person. Only one of you needs to have the pro version of the app, and you can sync the apps together. Both of them allow you to do touchpad, both of them allow you to record laps or intervals of certain runs. There's a bit more that you can do on the app, to be honest with you. Both of them require you to kind of get used to it a bit. So anyway, like I said, I will do a videos when I get a chance to get around to that. But a timing system is really important as a self-coach sprinter because, of course, you don't have somebody to time you like you may have a coach. Normally, you would rely on a coach to have all these things. But if you're self-coached, you want to know where you're at. When you're not training against other people, having some sort of timing system allows you to have something to compete against, allows you to kind of get a gauge as to where you're at any given point, right? So I really encourage you, if you haven't invested in a timing system up to now, to really think about it, okay? And I think these 2, free lap timing system and also the photo finish app, are really great ways to help you to time your run. It's much more accurate than doing hand timing with a stopwatch. I want to do a whole dedicated video or videos about each of them individually, comparing them against each other and stuff like that. So if you're not subscribed to this channel, subscribe and hit the notification bell so that you don't miss any videos videos when I do upload them, right? So the fourth thing I'm gonna say is a training diary. Now, if you followed my channel for any number of time, you'll know that I talk about training diary quite often, and I think the mental side of training is very, very important as a sprinter and as a self-coach athlete. Also keeping a record of your training. Of course, you can use your phone, but like I've said before in my videos, I really think there's something special about sitting down, writing with your hand, the connection that you have between your mind, quieting your heart, being able to just like journal. But also, like I said, it's a great way to keep track of your training. Okay, so keep a track of your training in a physical way. I like to do it physically. You can do it online on your phone as well, but keeping a training diary, right, is something that is important as a self-coach athlete, because you don't have a coach who's writing your program. You're going to have to write your program. You don't want it to just be like you're just picking bits and bobs. And let's say you have a great season this year, but how do you replicate it if you don't know what you did last year? You can think, oh, that's what I did. But if you actually write it down, then you're going to be a bit more accurate as to what you did, and you can progress your training as you need to, right? So if you need a training diary, like I said, you can use your phone, your notes, but I like to use a training diary, and I happen to have 4 training diaries at this point, and the link for those training diaries are below. So yeah, check them out. And if you've got a training diary of mine so far, let us know in the comment section below how you're finding it. How do you use it? What do you use your training diary for? Let us know in the comment section below. So last but not least, I'm actually going to say, as a self-coach athlete, you want to have some sort of camera and a tripod, okay? Just like you want to be able to time your runs to see where you're at, you also want to have video feedback of your run. You don't have a coach, you don't have someone to able to observe you physically to give you their feedback, so you have to be that for yourself, right? So if you don't ever film your runs, you don't know if what you're feeling matches up to what is actually being performed. That's why we want to have a timing system, so we can see, okay, this is how we felt, but was it faster? I changed this, did it actually make a difference speed wise? Similarly, we want to be able to see our technical model. We want to be able to see how we run when we're tired and all of this kind of thing. We want to see our movement in the gym. We want to see our technique for different exercises to see if there's any imbalances, all these kind of things we want to see. And so a camera and a tripod is a really great way to observe your run. And I actually made a whole video about how observational feedback is one of those things that people overlook when it comes to getting faster. So if you haven't seen that video, I encourage you to check this video out over here. And also there's one other bonus thing that I think that you should have as a self-coach athlete, sprinter, or even just a fitness enthusiast in general. So if you haven't seen this video, I encourage you to check that out next, and I'll see you guys on another Friday. Bye guys.